Okay, so today I'm going to be reviewing a game called Sonic Spinball for the Sega Genesis. A very underrated game, I will say it right now. It is one of the most underrated games in history, in my opinion. A lot of reviewers really badger the game and just don't see it for what it is, I think. And I don't just say that because I'm a Sonic fan. I mean, I don't think they're seeing the big picture and what Sega was trying to do with this one. Well, I'll tell you the plot first. Essentially, the plot is that Sonic Dr. Robotnik is turning little animals into robots again, and Sonic has to go save them, and he has to go to the Vega Fortress, and as you could see just now, he gets knocked off the plane by a snot laser, I guess, whatever the hell that was, and now has to enter the fortress through the dreaded Pinball Defense System! Oh noes! How horrible! Yeah, not one of the better plots, Sonic Team. Yeah, you really entranced us this time. Uh, they didn't really do a whole lot better. But I guess given the way the game is played and how things go with it, you couldn't really come up with a good plot. Because what you're looking at right here, this is the game. This is essentially what you'll be doing. So coming up with a good plot for this, I guess, isn't really the best. I would applaud someone to come up with a good plot for this, because I honestly can't think of one. Well, so this is what you'll pretty much be doing the entire time. I mean, there's a few times when Sonic will be on foot, but most of the time you're going to be doing this, bouncing off walls and using the flippers, just like a pinball machine. And the physics for the pinball, Sonic, who acts as the ball, the physics work very well. Sonic, this is actually one of the first Sonic games to be. This might be the first, now that I think about it. The first Sonic game developed completely in by Sega of America in America. So this isn't a Japanese Sonic game. Um, that being said, they didn't spend a whole lot of time on the graphics. Clearly, as you can see, it doesn't. The backgrounds look alright, but the enemies and the Sonic sprites and his animations are so poorly done. When he's running, you can just tell how choppy the animation is, and just how it's really appalling when you see it. And I mean, I guess you can get past it because, you don't see him running that often. He's normally doing this, and they must have spent a lot of time on this because it does work very well. The idea of each stage is the first stage, as I believe I mentioned before, is to get all the Chaos Emeralds in each stage. How original! But given this is one of the first Sonic games, I'll let that go. But the odd thing here is there's three Chaos Emeralds in this stage. I think there are a total of 15 Chaos Emeralds in the entire game. 15. I'm not kidding. I think that's the number. It's around 15. It might be 17 or maybe a little less than 15, but I know it's way more than 7. I do know that. I don't know what kind of drug Sega of America was on, because it had already been decided with Sonic 2 that there were 7 Chaos Emeralds. Then again, around this time, they had been changing the Chaos Emeralds for a while. I mean, because in the first Sonic game, there were only 6. Then they moved it up to 7. But from 7 to 15, it's kind of a steep jump, don't you think? I think this came out after Sonic 2. I might have to check it again. My memory could be wrong. Anyway. So, this is essentially what you have to do the entire time. There's a huge puzzle element to the game, which is kind of weird for a Sonic game. You don't really see puzzle element in a Sonic game, because Sonic games are developed around speed and ease of play, but this is a really hard game. This is one of the few Sonic games I've never beaten. I'm gonna be honest with you, I have never beaten this game. I don't think I've even seen the ending on YouTube or anything. I have never beaten the game. It's really hard, and I normally end up dying. I can make it to the 4th stage, but I cannot make it past the 4th stage. Good lord, the 4th stage is just suicide. I've seen the game beaten fairly. I know it's possible, but I get bored. Well, at the end of each stage, as standard for Sonic games, there's a boss. For this stage, it's a giant Eggman Scorpion. Wow. A lot of people badger this boss, but this is the best boss in the entire game. Because, the second level is, there's 3 heads, or 4 heads, I believe, that you have to hit, and they throw up when you hit them, eventually it explodes. The third boss is the machine is turning the little animals into robots, and the final boss is Eggman himself. And this is what you do for this boss: is get under his stinger, and Sonic will keep bouncing around. Eventually, the stinger's going to come off, just like you just saw, and then you have to bounce on top of him directly with Sonic. That's a bit hard to do because there's all these weird teleporters around they have to avoid, but it's not impossible. See, right now I'm doing it. Eventually, after a few hits, bam, and then he explodes. There's 5 stages, but the final 5th stage is just the final boss, and there's technically no boss for the 4th stage. The 5th stage is the 4th stage's boss, I guess you could say, because you're chasing Eggman's rocket. Because after you destroy the machine that turns the little animals into robots, he escapes. And after each stage, there's these little bonus games, as you can see. It's basically just Sonic playing a pinball game with Dr. Eggman, or Dr. Robotnik if you prefer, scooting around or doing something or whatever. It depends on the game. This particular game is interesting to note. As you saw, that sprite right there, if you could see that, that's Sally. Sally Acorn. No shit. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm this is the only time you will see these characters in the Sonic game, with the exception of Tails, because he's in one of those pods too. Because, I don't know what Sega America was thinking. I guess they figured they should put those characters in the game. They don't play a part in the story at all. They don't appear at any other point. This is just a bonus game. This is the only time they ever appear in a Sonic game. Ever. Ever! Unless it's some sort of a hack game or a fan-based game. I believe there's one that has the characters in it. And I do know sprites for each of those characters exist. But this is the only time that they will appear in an official Sonic game. Why that is, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I don't know why they chose to put them in the game. I guess they figured the characters would appear later in the Sonic franchise, which they don't. It turns out, I guess for some reason I don't really know why they chose to do that, but this is the only time they'll ever appear. And yeah, and the object of this is to free them all. I don't believe I will do this because of that. See that? Did you see that? The ball passed because the flippers are too far apart, because the ball, if it's hit right, which it normally is, will go straight in between them, and there's no way you can hit them. I know that sometimes happens in pinball, but it happens way too often during these games. I'm pretty sure these games were kind of thrown together. Of course, it happens during the actual game occasionally, but not nearly as often as the mini games. This is the second level, and suddenly the music gets such a downgrade. I didn't mention the music yet. The music in the first level is great. I love the music in the first level, but the rest of the music throughout the game just seems like it's trying too hard to be punkish rock that was popular during the time this game was put out. And it's just really irritating. And this level, see, like I just did, I died. Because it just, they multiplied difficulty by such a large amount. It just becomes so hard. Just immediately after the first level. The first level is relatively easy once you understand what you're supposed to do. But this level, just suddenly, I remember trying to play this level when I was young. It was so hard to do. I was having such a hard time. I did eventually do it, but, because of the puzzle element, it's really irritating. Well, and there's not much more to say. It's a very good game. It's hard, it's challenging, but it's definitely worth a play. You might like it, you might not, but I don't think it deserves what other reviewers have given it. So, till next time, see you later.